Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into THIERRY MINKOWSKI's Jewish Mysticism Basics. We're going to strip away all that intimidating esoteric jargon and reveal a surprisingly practical framework for, well, the human condition itself. Let's get right into it.
Now, think about this for a second. What if the world you see every single day is just the skin of a fruit? Most of the time, we're just staring at the surface, right? The daily grind, the visible events, the material stuff all around us. But Minkowski really challenges us to look deeper. And hey, this isn't about escaping reality. It's actually about learning to read reality in a totally new way, realizing that the world isn't just some blind machine, it's a living, breathing structure.
All right, Section 1, what Kabbalah actually is. To really grasp these hidden layers, we first need to wipe our mental slate completely clean about what mysticism actually means. So here's the absolute crucial point. Kabbalah, it's not about acquiring secret occult powers or doing magic tricks. It's an inner reading of reality that actually grounds us way deeper into our own humanity. It's definitely not magic, and it's for sure not an escape hatch from the real world. True mysticism passes right through matter. It literally illuminates our everyday lives from the inside out. The word Kabbalah itself comes from kibel, meaning to receive. And this brilliantly illustrates that truth isn't something we just fabricate or conquer. Instead, it's this transformative light that we have to humbly make ourselves available to receive. You can't just seize this knowledge through intellectual brute force. It's more about creating an inner quiet, a space of listening so a vaster meaning can actually enter. Moving on to Section 2, the infinite and the withdrawal. Now, what's absolutely fascinating here is how the literal beginning of the universe perfectly mirrors our own psychology. Let's rewind the clock to before time itself.
Before any universe existed, there was only the Ein Sof, the infinite. It literally means without end. This was an absolute, uncontainable light that teaches us a pretty massive lesson in humility, mainly because it remains forever beyond human intellectual mastery. Any image or definition we try to slap onto it is instantly a reduction. It's just the inexhaustible source of absolutely everything.
But wait, if the infinite is literally everywhere, how could anything else possibly exist? Well, enter Tzimtzum, or the withdrawal. And why does this matter to you? Because Tzimtzum isn't just some abstract cosmic event. It's the exact inner movement you make when you quiet your own ego to make space to truly listen to someone else. The infinite voluntarily contracted to make room for otherness. So true power here isn't about dominating a room, it's having the capacity to step back so another person can exist. Okay, Section 3, mapping the soul and universe. Let's see how this concept builds the actual architecture of the cosmos, which, incredibly, serves as a perfect map of our very own inner lives. Now, instead of getting bogged down in complicated jargon, just look at how the 5 levels of the soul neatly map out our experience. We start down at Nefesh, which is our physical, basic survival anchor to the earth. Then we move up to Ruach, the realm of breath, emotion, and relationships. Next is Neshama, our conscious intellect. Then Chaya, this vast, unified life force. And finally, Yekida, the absolute, pure, divine core that remains completely intact no matter what you've gone through in life. This whole inner structure is symbolically reflected in the tree of life. But remember, we're not talking about a physical plant here. This is the secret architecture of your own mind. It shows us that balancing our inner forces is what brings real healing. The 10 Sephirot act as channels. Like when you act with kindness, you're manifesting Hesed. When you set a firm, just boundary, that's Gevurah. And when you manage to balance those two, you find harmony, known as Tiferet. Which brings us to Section 4, the shattering of the vessels. This is really the central narrative tension of our source material, a cosmic catastrophe that directly mirrors our own human psychological trauma. So looking at the sequence, the initial structures of the universe simply couldn't handle the raw, intense, divine light. After the withdrawal, the light flooded back in. But the containers, the vessels, were just too rigid. They were immature. So they literally shattered under the sheer intensity. And here's the wild part. This wasn't a mistake. This fragmentation was necessary to birth multiplicity and ultimately human freedom. When those vessels shattered, sparks of that divine light fell into matter and got trapped inside klipotes, or shells. So what's the big takeaway for us? Well, these klipot are basically the cosmic equivalent of your emotional armor. They're the limiting beliefs and psychological traumas that trap your inner light.
They form around those fallen sparks to protect them, sure, but then they get opaque and hardened. They aren't inherently evil, they're just layers of forgetfulness. And all of this fragmentation results in what's called the Sitra Ahra, or the other side. Now, the author is super clear here. This isn't some external, spooky realm of evil. It's actually just the human ego building a massive fortress of fear, totally forgetting its connection to a greater unity. It's that anxious state of mind that screams, I am totally alone, I'm separate, I have to fight to survive. It's a complete illusion of absolute autonomy.
All right, on to Section 5, Tikkun, repairing the world. Fortunately for us, the story absolutely does not end in brokenness. The source material introduces a profound method for both cosmic and personal healing. This is where tikkun, or repair, comes in. Tikkun teaches us that the world is literally unfinished without human awareness. By reconciling our own inner contradictions, we are actively repairing the fabric of reality. And get this, it's not about turning back the clock to before the shattering. It's about gathering up all those broken pieces and consciously creating a new unity that's actually way richer than what existed in the first place. Literally, every time you choose compassion over anger, you are performing tikkun.
Let this beautifully poetic thought sink in for a second. A shell is not overcome by violence, it is pierced by consciousness. You don't heal your traumas, or the world for that matter, by aggressively fighting your shadows. If you try to smash your emotional armor by force, you're just going to make the shell thicker. But when you look at your fears with truth and gentle compassion, that shell naturally cracks, and the trapped light is finally set free. This concept of repair even extends to how we perceive time. By stopping our endless, anxious mental time travel and truly inhabiting the present, we align ourselves with pure, unified time. You know how we often treat the past like a prison of regret and the future like this giant source of anxiety? Well, mysticism flips that, teaching us that the present moment is actually a sacred portal. It is quite literally the only place where repair can happen. Finally, Section 6, Mysticism in Everyday Life. Okay, let's bring all this massive cosmic theory straight down to your kitchen table, because true mysticism doesn't just live up in the clouds, it lives right here, right now. The text makes it super clear, the highest spiritual work is absolutely not about escaping reality. It's about bringing deep, compassionate attention to our ordinary, mundane actions. It breaks down our human mission into 3 steps. 1. Discern. See the hidden depth in ordinary things. 2. Liberate. Release those trapped sparks of light by just being truly present. And 3. Repair. Build a bridge right where there was a wall. A simple conversation, sharing a meal, even just a moment of silence. These are the real battlegrounds of repair. All that is separated seeks to come together, and all that is dark carries within it the memory of light. Man, this brilliantly summarizes everything we've talked about in this explainer. Our deepest psychological fractures and the universe's greatest mysteries, they are both fundamentally yearning for the exact same unity. The darkness you encounter out in the world or inside yourself is not the enemy. It's simply a place that has forgotten its origin, just waiting for you to remind it. As we wrap up this explainer, the author doesn't leave us with some impossible demand for perfection. Instead, it's a breathtakingly simple invitation to recognize the spark that's already sitting inside us. You have that Yekidah, that pure, unbroken core inside you right this very second. You are not just a spectator sitting on the sidelines of the universe. You're an active partner in its healing. So the only question left is, will you answer the light that dwells within you?